commitments. Okay, you can say good evening, it's 4 o'clock. So, thank you for very elaborate this thing. It's now critical that I live up to the expectations. Um, I've been through different technologies like of course, the crazy guy from day one. Yeah, we were talking 13 years ago, used to attend, I don't know, I go from 7. I don't have my basics, right? So 7 to 10, so my physics, chemistry, and all that stuff, all the sciences would be pretty bad because 8 and 9 study nice directly jump and stuff. Yeah, and we are crazy guy, and sometimes this craziness is related very closely with entrepreneurship. Because in the school once faculty beat me up and I said, no, I'm not going to go to him. Why should I study with him? I will study on my own. And my 10th standard was like I studied at home and I did my life like homeschooling and then wrote my exams and all that stuff. It worked because my father was from the army. He used to say, my mother used to be pretty worried about me. Like my first job also was a public sector job. When I resigned, my mother was crying. So my father retired and I just said I don't like working there and I just left the job. And it's like people, my father was okay, school, okay, not this something else. But my mother was pretty critical about it and said, I'm not going to go anywhere. She cursed me and all that stuff. Anyhow, things happened. So I did engineering after that. While doing my management, I said that there's a lot of opportunity for accountants or past accountants or who don't know what technology is. I'm talking of technology as an opportunity. So I did my ICW because I was in BHP at that time, or BHEL, and I was doing this internal. I found that these people did not know what ISI milestone standards were, their calculation of like simple example, maybe people will relate. If I'm talking about the valuation of this laptop, it is a assume let's say it's 40 years old. If I ask a chartered accountant, he will say it's 5 years, straight line depreciation, 20 years, so he bought it 50,000. Now 3 years over, this value is 20,000. So that's his valuation, that's how they will value it. But they will not know about the functionality, what forms of life is left, what is the usage. It's just like, if you go to a chartered accountant to value a car when you sell it versus what the real market value. They were doing that for machinery. And the soda machines and all that, which were 1960s machines, and they were all book value zero. So they didn't know how to calculate. Then there's something called statistical process control, and based on which you see what is the end market, what is the competing products in the market, what is it that they can do, all that stuff. So the valuation of that specific machine as a different thing, then you technical skills. So I did my okay. Then began my research and management and other stuff. But largely, I was again working after my MBA. I thought maybe something that people wanted to guess here. I picked up a job in marketing. My first after public sector and then coming up my MBA, I picked up a job in sales. Sales, let's call it not marketing, sales. Any guess why I picked up a job in sales? Yes.
Understand the market,
theory.
understand the customer needs, customer to understand.
Any theory, sir. Okay, let's ask this. You more jobs వచ్చాయి ఏ పికప్ చేసుకుంటారు అది that's the answer. When I got it. It's because it pays more. Simple. That was the decision. I'm saying decisions that we make let us take. And I was not good. Not good for marketing. Not good is I was selling. I was getting my targets. I worked with Castrol, sorry, first with Della, then Castrol, and the switchgears and all stuff. I was getting my targets, but I soon realized that I coined the term www.sales.com. I used to call it that. It was like, it was when I largely institutional sales. Like not Sir was talking just before we shared about it's very difficult to deal with governmental agencies. To close the deals, probably you cannot talk much of it. But I used to, like when large deals, institutional sales, happens also with the procurement officers and the public sector organizations or even private sector organizations. One W is well, so you will pay by and then there's the commission and then you take the deal. Another W is where you are networking and you are closeness to the guy, so it's wine and beef. So you go take him to a thing and drink and smoke along the line. You probably get a deal because he's very close to you or the golf course now. At that time, probably some shady bar and restaurant. And other one, maybe in Delhi, sir, sir would know. Pune, I think. No, it's hard facts. So I didn't like it, so I had to leave it, come back, work for 1/10 of my salary in a college local as a faculty. Well, again you have to restart. It's again restart. This is like a life of an entrepreneur. You have to again come back to zero and start it. But I used that time to get my system added off again. Had to write this CAT, gate, net, UGC, net, this GIS, what do you say, net and JRF and other stuff. And then went to ISA and Bangalore Dual Institute Research and again started. Then the next job was not the highest package. I took the third highest package one, but I took a very conscious decision. I would get into something called strategy. So I was the executive assistant to Mr. Chakratan Pilla for about 2 years, largely settling between Calcutta, Delhi, Chennai, set up their Mitsubishi Lancer plant in Tiruvallur. Again, sale of their JV with Caterpillar. I was involved in a few things. And after 2 years, moved to Satyam in 2000. Was my first moved into IT, basically a mechanical engineer. So, and then I was a business process consultant, not IT, business process consultant. And then helped Mahindra to move from the Bolero to the Scorpio platform. That's for 2 years. Worked with LG Balakrishnan, TI Cycles, setting up their Nashik plants. So it was more business process consulting. And then boss said you need to earn more money for yourself, otherwise I can't give you a hike. So they kicked me out to the US. So landed on the pool stay April 1st of 2002 in the US, working for G as a client for 3 years. Again on the 1st of April, I don't know, so much. I still have that pool thing associated with me. I'll tell you how. On the 1st of April, I was moved to, in 2005, I was moved to uh, 2004, 2 years in this thing, yeah. And then to General Motors as an account, heading on star, the telematics stuff, again for 3 years, and then I landed back in India. So I desperately wanted to come back to Vizag and do something for this place at that time. Thankfully, my wife also agreed to it. If the wife doesn't agree, nothing happens. So she said, okay, we'll go back. So we came back, started this Vizag Satyam Center at that point of time. Even the phase two, I was instrumental. Even today, when Phoenix with Sara, Papa, that's what he tells me. 88 crores were invested and they had to rent it out or lease it out because there was no leader to build it. As long as I was there, I built it to about 1,400 people, and then when I left, it came down to 600 again. So leadership again makes a big difference. So that again, Vizag, I took a 30% cut because when they already found the person here, and they asked me why why should we take you because we found the person I good friend of mine. Hanumantan Nagu, that's his name. He was there and he said, my boss said, what is it that I should take back the decision that I've already made the choice to bring this guy on board into Vizag and you from investment should send you there. I gave him 2, 3 offers. I said, we are losing business to cases left, right, and center. It's about, we were around $16 per full time equivalent per hour. So one guy, usually quoting $16 per TCS was around $15.25, 15.5, $15, about $1 really less than us. So if you had to compete and get those business because they're all through tender. But G knows all these guys are the same. don't care whether Infosys will grow in something at that point of time or TCS, people move across. These guys are the same CMMI level 5, so it really doesn't matter. You give them a project, then I told him, since you're losing that, I will create a low cost delivery center and yeah, you give me, I take a 30% cut. It starts with me, I take a 30% cut in my salary and I'll create a low cost delivery center. Then the obvious next question is how. I said, give me first send me there. If I tell you how, you'll get it done through Hanu Nagapalli. I'll be sent back. So thankfully they tempted him into trying it out. So came and started this, ran it like my own kingdom and had my own policies, fighting always with the corporate office and built it. Actually, the boom came when 2009 when supplement down there. Mahindras came, they were very, because I was creating something. I said, some things that you do in entrepreneurship, this is very again basic. You have to break the basic myths of how to run stuff of today's rules. At that time, the even now, I think some of the companies follow this. Their entry level talent management when they go to college, they say we have to pay the highest to get the best talent. We have to go to the best of the colleges. We have to be a day one recruiter. All these things. I said all that is bullshit. I said that doesn't work. How? I said I am going to go pick up people who have never failed in their campus placement, running around in undergraduate is from institute to institute, learning, testing, Java, all that Java, Bava, whatever we were learning at that point of time. And okay, okay, Microsoft technology, usually Java, testing, these were popular. Then what else? Yeah, this is largely the, or sometimes they say V and all this stuff, not knowing what it means also. So picked up a bunch of guys who now know what is life because they know what failure is. Now told them I give you a 4 month training just like I gives to everybody else. Now your 4 months of training, it's not an offer guarantee. If you come out good, I'm not doing the challenge. I'm spending a lot of time in training. In these 4 months, people who are selling projects in Vizag, they'll come and then start doing it. And if they find you good, the day they say you're good, next day they will have an offer. And the next day you will be on a project. So the biggest myth in entry level talent management, even today, is day one project resources are not because what they do, they had C level and within the lab. Several programs and one of them you buy. STDA or IO, and that's it. To print that stuff. So these are my art. They don't know to pay that from scratch. Very important. So knowing that, they said first day no chance you can't even get a first day into the project. I said I'll break that. So I said I'm creating a virtual team of them. And the day I'm paying him, he's on the project. So that's how I started. And the second thing I said, another thing I went and did a radical. I said I'm not at that time. Again, this is one market. You need to understand this. People think any job, especially entry level, found that probably they become menial. The industry don't take it on. I come to saying here, I don't think they must be cursing me. And there she is, how did your interview go? Good. So, so because at that time it was 3.5 and today is also the same thing, but no zero. Okay? So if you're aiming at again 3.5, it's equivalent to at that time, maybe what a BSc guy used to get 1.4 because of the inflation taking way off. So you're going for the low end jobs, which is basically those 3.5. So industry is not moved up because but anyway, at that time I offered them 3.5 because you are I'm giving you a startup instead of 3, I'm giving you 1.5. But every year I'll ensure you go 3 years that you finish that you reach to the level the other. So started again BSc again the company was giving 1.8, 1.2. We did that initially. The infrastructure was also not there. We did it in Bombay. We started that. We could, from about 58 million in 2 years, we could go to that maximum. Because I started giving services at $14 per hour per people. It was my out of 10 most profitable projects, 9 were from my. So I had to really. But Satyam as a management again, sometimes we are paymasters in the market, you are creating the bad image with the less. My boss can't ask me to get out because I'm able to give in the business from 58 million went to 125 million in just 2 years. That company, he has never used to sell more. We were hitting these days where it got most. Now, 2009 when Satyam went down, Tech Mahindra, a Banya company, once you're saving money, you are great. Oh, yeah. Please come, went and then they made me part of something. Board member. So I was talking to Deepak Parekh, I was working with Deepak Parekh, who are all the board members identified by the government of this, and along with Tech Mahindra, stabilize it and then merge it. So I was for 3 years I was there doing that job. So they sent me to Harvard. So he sponsored for all the money that it takes to go to Harvard. But 3 years very closely. It's a great experience, which is basically maybe when your company is gone and then uh, team members are leaving and going, employees are leaving and going, the clients are leaving and going. You don't know what's real business, what's not. So it was a tough time, but we somehow five of us. One is now in stage of professor and one is now become CEO of BMC Technologies, all big positions. So uh, in these 3 years, last big decisions that I really took was you have to decide, five of us who are from middle management had to decide because two companies coming together. You have two CXOs, you have two chief of marketing, you have two chief of people, which is HR. So only one will have to survive. So we had to do the analysis and then who will survive. Between CP Gunani and Sanjay Karma, Sanjay Karma had to go CP. And that's a decision by five guys who were in the middle management. And during this shadow board, we were also called entrepreneurs. Anybody heard of Tech Mahindra's campus, ECOL, which is their own engineering college in Madurai? I started. So it is an entrepreneurship. I said, but my aim was not to stop there. They said they gave me 250 crores and said, start something. I said, Mahindra should have something called Mahindra Learning Services. At that time, I'm saying how entrepreneurship got into me. So at that time, uh, when they asked for presenting some ideas, we won the Shadow Board Award and all that stuff, best strategy and all that stuff, based on telemedicine idea in 2009 of creating those brands which are do that business model and all that stuff. We prototype and developed it. But my other idea that was next best activity was minor learning services. I said, what today ladies or all these guys are doing? I said 2010 is a big market popping up, digital thing. So you can do this because you already have content. You don't need to develop because you train your employees. You have 80 different companies. 80 is a conglomerate of 80 good companies. You are in engineering, you talk mechanical, you talk defense, you talk okay, practice or movies. You're talking with all sorts of people to IT or telecom, all sorts of engineering, construction because you do mind spaces and all this mind spaces. So you're into construction. You talk about management, you're there, you're in hospitality, you're whatnot. You are into everything. Mind life sciences, you are into everything and you are training your employees general management, specific, even building, how to do it in Marathi, I've seen in Telugu for the Hyderabad plant, I've seen that in Hindi and also in English. So what do you need? Take that content online and create $1 billion business. It was great, we were accepted, but they said, okay, we'll take you out from this role. You go, we'll set it up, micro learning services, you have to run it. Will Nair, who is CP Gurnani's boss, between Anand Mahindra and Vijay Nair is CP Gurnani, the group CEO of companies. He's interested, he said, and they sent me to uniforms to Shantan was big. He was now sort of equivalent to one of the sharks at that point of time, and he was ready to invest. And they said, you started out of Bangalore. I said, why is that? That was the conflict. I said, no, and then I left and I came out. And the reason why I left and came out of this thing was I was something president of something called ISAC IT, which is now called IDS, of the AP or a group of companies, association for IT and IDS. I don't know how many of you heard of this from Symbiosis, and there's also my Mr. Sastry from Zirtec. They are entrepreneurs. The question that I had was I was with TechMinder at that point in 2009. How can you become the president of an organization that is largely entrepreneurs? You're not an entrepreneur. You've not taken this. You're not putting your money. You're living off somebody's money. You're making money for somebody else. You cannot lead the organization. I said, fine. Then I said, okay. I do myself. For some figure would be 2010 it happened, 2012 July. For 3 years I had to be there with my was all the wait for me to Harvard and stuff. So waited for the 3 years to complete, took all the shares. Then exited in 2012 July. And first started off my tech journey first started with a company called Panoply. He is a person from the US. He was in the medical coding healthcare life science, something that I hated all through my life. I hated those big books that my friends from IBC carrying around medical students. He said, there's so much of my years, so much of things that I cannot do this. We will never do it in my life. But business makes you do all dirty things. All things that you don't want to do, you do in business. So mine was the first venture was because he said, I give you stake without any investment, come from a large company, run it, and give you a monthly salary also. And I think this is, if you achieve these levels, I give you so much. And it is into medical coding. We work with hospitals. Every year I do madam course, sit through that, center for what is new, all that. So I have to go through anatomy, physiology, pathology, and pharma. Terrible stuff, but I have to do it. From about 20 people company, about 2 billion, 1.65 million to about 20 million. From 22 to 350 million, I made my money. I exited again for a reason. Heard of medical transcription as an industry? What is happening? What happened? Evaporated. Why they used to have a lot of medical transcription. State my good friend and brother Rajiv used to have a big company, HSBC Bank, which also went used to have 200 people. You know why that industry disappeared? Anybody can take a risk. What is medical transcription? Yes, sir. Telemedicine. No, it's not telemedicine. Medical transcription is basically prescriptions that are yes, it's basically US law along with the prescription. You have to have all the text of what the doctor told you because for even tomorrow you can also documentation of all the doctors talk to you and all that and along with the prescription. Whatever the voice has to come up to text, simple voice of the doctor's interpretation of the case analysis, primary analysis of what we call it. Okay, to go with the report, it would be scale. So all that needs to come in voice notes and people need to convert huge voice aggregates to 2,000 to 3,000 people on transcription. And once you do it, there's one thing which is called quality, which will check if you did it right, voice to text, and then certify that and then send it back to the office. Huge business. Then came voice to text and natural language processing. Both have killed this industry. Today, not even the 10% quality guys left, the 90% of business is gone. There are only 9 that are all consolidated, no more in Vizag, medical transcription, because all the text that comes in, now whatever you taught, this will record. And it will create that. That's what they've been able to came with that first. And that happened, and that industry. Now, what I'm finding is then 2018-19, I told my partner, Manny Pena, this is a white guy, of course, with whom I was working, not a Desi American third generation Cuban guy. I'm exiting because I think this you will not survive with this forever until unless you transform yourself technologically. Because AI will come in and take over. Because whatever you're doing, you're reading through charts, metal, EHR records, electronic health records. You identify certain conditions, and based on that, you do codes. Based on the codes, you get paid by the insurance because US 99 point whatever percentage is insurance. So it's all insurance that pays you. So that conversion and all that stuff now, which is happening manually, there's some. If it was pure science, it would have got automated. But since it is science plus a little bit of art, so I have to see a lot of uh, vital comorbidities and other stuff to see before. In India, it's the same thing. If you go deep at you go in India and you share, and it's the same thing. This speechless, or you get to say maybe IIT and something, and they charge you and ask you to go. In US, they do a lot of analysis whether you are hypertension, you are a diabetic, maybe you have some allergies, your blood does not clot. I don't know about the terms and all that. It's sitting on that. So all that, and then they do that. And if the guy has like the same guy with the same sort of a problem, if you are high obesity, hypertension, and all that, that's even from right from an X-ray. So all that you have to capture to this thing. So there's a lot of art to it, but still artificial intelligence somehow it will learn from our previous tasks and it will do it. And that's we were used to charge we used to get about $70 to $80 per hour on an average. Today has come down to about now I was asking $34. I know eventually it will die. So I exited, made my little bit of money, came out and started another few startups. I'm into like core service copy. Penfolds are still on the board. We tell them, but they don't listen. That's a or they want to go into KPO business now. I said, no, you get on the tech side, they don't listen anymore. It doesn't matter. They gave me all my money, my car, and everything is financed. So I have no issues. If they, I, I have one in purely IT services, which is a product. I have an IoT company, which is into industrial and retail IoT. Then I have a fintech company, which is GNY. It's actually Genie, we call it GNY, which is basically we do loan processing and other stuff, and invoice processing, all using AI and NLP. Then I have a HR tech firm, which is interview buddy. Maybe that's one case study that I quickly go through, just keeping over some time. Then I have a company which is basically into medtech, largely only. I would say it's largely trading and trading. Of course, there in hypo Srinivas, Deepak, and all that stuff. And that's we don't do it for profit, but we invest money, but we make money, but that's a long term plan. But these are all the different companies, and thankfully, not old, but anyhow, all the and more bottom line focused. In 3 years, if it's not profitable, then I will not stay on it and try to do something else. I'm not a guys which are basically long-term customer acquisition. I will make money in the future, keep invested, keep pumping in money, and have tons of losses before you make money. I am just the opposite. I have to see profitability in the year four, otherwise I'm out. So I'm like that, and thankfully all my. But now people are believing in these stories than the ones of building large enterprises with continuously pumping in money before something. Okay, now what's entrepreneurship? Now I'll relate all my experience with this. Basically, creation of a business that has what previously Leonardo were talking about chance of profit or success. Not everybody will become profitable or successful. The word I'm using success is like it could be a social entrepreneurship where profit might not, or if you're an NGO, it could be be also an entrepreneurship where profit itself might not be sustainable. Your success could be measured in different ways of how many people like you impacted, how many carbon credits you have gained, could be something else. So it's profit or success. These are the characteristics of entrepreneurship as a purpose. It's a process to live as a purpose. It is a vision. And you're building something of value. Somebody will have to see some value in it. Otherwise, there's no reason for which enterprise exists. And that value, that's what? That's continuum of value, which is very critical because today a lot of tech startups come and say, I have this product. But what is the life of the product? This is not what next. Maybe you make money for 3 years after that. Is there a next roadmap to continue to make money? So the value proposition over a period of time is what people look at you and they invest. Similarly, I'm also an investor. I invested in so many of these companies now at 7 digits, 1 crore plus. And these investments, when I make, is largely just not a product because people can come up with products over a period of time. My investments are largely on the people. I take a bet more on people. Most of the investors do. It's the people that drive all this stuff. So they understand this over a long period of time and how to I start. So you of course identify an opportunity and all the resources that are required. We talk of manpower, we talk with infrastructure, we talk of funding and technology and all those things. Put them all together, put it into a business plan, develop that, and then once you have confident, you sort of scientifically test a business plan, also you market test it, and once you think you have done the right thing, you put the plan into action and you get it, you get your hands dirty and you get into the job. Of course, it involves a high amount of uncertainty and acceptance of risk. Like somebody in 2018 having a great plan, the hospitality business with the COVID hitting in 2009, or would have launched a big airline in 2018, and 2 years of time is gone. So uncertainty is part of the game. Now, what is technopreneurship? I know a lot of people. So it's basically somebody who manages their own. I know technology is always very thin line between entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship, but largely something that is technology because you talk of Facebook, you talk of Google, you talk of all things, but I don't practice of so technology, tech, entrepreneurship could be any of these things, maybe of specific product development, all that stuff. I don't call Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, they're tech driven, but they're not techno. So that would be great. So combination of technology advancements and entrepreneurial skills. That's what it means. You would really need people out here who are really creative, who are really intuitive, intelligent. Yes, I mean, it's have a very good appetite for and moving up the technology value to the technology change from today. Some activity comes in, but I comes in. Changes already gone. Of course, appetite for this and a strong faith and belief in the center idea. I say this when you say believe in idea, people take for this thing as emotional attachment. How to like we are not married to the so ideas that time doesn't. Another thing is people say great means nothing to for me as an investor. It's nothing. The idea in itself is nothing. You have to have that customer and how much of the market or what you do, how so it's just like if you're talking about big value companies, especially the e-commerce, you know what they do, you know what all the big courier companies do, you know all what you know what Amazon does, you don't know what Nike does, or you know what Flipkart or Lolas or Uber make my trip or book my show. You know what they do, but execution is the key anyhow. And Solopreneurship is not so much possible in technology. It's largely a team of people coming together because technology along with marketing operations and all. You need teams, and largely when people invest in you, they look for that combination where you have complementary skills. Four great engineering guys together will not do this. If you watch Steve Jobs and all their story and all that stuff, you will find that one technically strong guy, business savvy guy, come together makes it. Purely technically savvy will not take you that far. Purely a four MBA guys getting into some technopreneurship, not understanding what the structure and do EV stuff. You will not do it. A lot of what you do today, only 80 kilometers giving, I will take it to 200. So what technology battery technology doesn't even know that give them no idea, but these ideas doesn't mean anything. You don't know any subject matter technology related stuff, but you will say it's just like I'm going and telling my it's this topic is expensive 5 years and we need it down 2 years. It's like that without any knowledge. I'm going to tell you something that okay, I'm doing that drug discovery by 35 more than half. Good, great idea, but how intelligence is really but they can see that. So should I try it or not? If you are in it, who's ready to take calculus, you have a very strong desire to control your own destiny. You have a strong desire to achieve big things. If you have fear of failure, really multiple times, it took me 9 years to identify what is my right career. Really, successful based on not failures. I give you, I'll walk you through the processes, and I tell you, take you through the story, then you fail, and again you correct it. If you give it to your peer, they got a job, they joined, and all this stuff. You are gone days. This is not. If you give it to your family projects, or you think your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife is not accepted, then you are not in this. And then you can't see a long term opportunity cost, but only a short sighted, you see only tomorrow's 31st salary. This is not way. This is not a 9 to 5. So just be ready for it. So the process, I know it's just as entrepreneurship, but you can, this is actually entrepreneurship, overwritten, but the rules are the same. So this is the stage where you start, go with the interview. Start explaining what you do. Srinivas, myself, Deepak, Kiran, Peter, Shiva, my first time. We are all friends from my industry. Sort of like-minded people who stand business. Built like Deepak and Kiran built Techlaris and sold it off. I came out of Penaforte. Peter is an American and perhaps started his wages like Samudra Song. He was not successful, but I don't know. His financial services business went up more that successful. Then we had Srinivas again 14 years ago. He was coming back and he was consulting. We started sitting and okay, on 30 ideas. And we were trying to contemplate which one to get. And we wanted to have something that is abstract. Because he said before we go and tell people what to do, he said we create a case base. He said we proved it. This is how we can do it. Now we'll do it. So we started putting a lot of ideas together. And some were related to students, some were related to what we were very strong. We had a level for 3 months. We were only assessing ideas, giving ratings, debating, fighting it at home. Some people say this, some people that, and then we started coming out with about 5 years. We started studying the market, what, how much, and what not. At the same time, we had Ujjwal, who is a student 2015 pass out. he came up with an idea saying students need a lot of help with the interview skills. CRM mass, not personalized one. This is way back in 2000. We saw that, but actually we go and do the personalized this thing with Pragati Engineering College along with Srinivas. And this guy came, and this guy actually came in 2017, 2015 he passed out. And when we went back and tried to see what he was doing for the last 2 years, 2015 when he passed out, he was attending an interview. He's a mechanical engineer, and he was backbencher. He had second CGPA, one grade 7 sort of, not a great CGPA. Was interested in coding and engines. Was sitting most of the time in Krishna Models, which is the repair shop, and learning about the auto component, what it is, how the engine manufactures. When an auto component manufacturer came and they asked me questions, they were absolutely stunned by his practical application of the theory and how it works. He didn't know what the cycles and all. He was telling practically this is, and he was showing them videos that say, sound is like that, is probably the sand. The problem is with the fan belt, with this, the piston rings, this. So one after the other, he's telling they were so impressed, they said, oh, you know, interview your own class, the third or fourth, because he was fearless guy. He was really fearless guy. So he became probably an introvert. He was one of the first or the second guy to be sent because what did they do when a interview comes in and if it's random, what do? You send your classmates. Because a question that you have, you prepare and then go, you want to be safe. So the guy will just come. What the hell? If you get it, I get it. After the talk, he went, he was there, he was there. The third guy who went to the shop, we see him on the interview back. This guy didn't come out, this next week, and then he was interviewed. His own classmates were 9 CGPAs. And these guys were shivering, sweating all over and all this stuff. Questions I was not able to answer and all this stuff. He said maybe there's some opportunity. He didn't join the company, went for his MS to Germany. Then again, after one semester, he found that his seniors going through that same process of interviews. Maybe, Chaitra, you must have felt that nervousness, right, of facing an interview. Yeah. So you know here is there, and then he said this is a global phenomenon. Maybe an opportunity. Came back to India. He left his MS. Again, left his job, left his MS. This is what this is all what. He came back. He came then approached to Alco partners. Said, see, this is an idea that I have. And he also went for IT for uh, competition where 2038 the ideas were presented across India, and he was one of the top. He didn't win it, but he was one of the top. He had some validation that there's some strength in his idea to get students. So we said, okay, technically we develop a product. We will bring experts from the industry who will interview the students and tell them. So, okay, 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 I'll slowly go through this related to balance. So we yeah, this discovery process. So we say okay, we said okay, students need this lot of. We went and then we also so there's some skill issue with respect to facing interviews. So we were studying that how to convert that, and then we said is there a need and want for this service to the students? Because we also wanted to give something back to the society, saying that okay, students, campus placements, they're having a tough time taking the interviews, so let's help them. So we went and did our research. And then when we went to the students, when we asked them, boss, tomorrow you have an interview with Accenture, tomorrow day after, today I can set up an interview with an Accenture or somebody like the Captain, Dell, or maybe some big company, Infosys, who will interview you for an hour and tell you what you are good at technically and from the HR perspective, and tell you what are the areas you're not so good at and what is it that you have to work on and what you should talk and you should not. People like all these people get years. The survey said yes, 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 we need a mock interview. Mock interview with the industry, not some mock interview within a university. So industry experts who are actually working and they come end of the day. This is additional money for them. So the money we would pay money, 70% goes to the interviewer. The rest comes to us as our own our expenses into profit. So they said anywhere between 1,500 rupees to 3,000, I am ready and I will pay. The research showed that there is a big need for this. So we had to go ahead and launch it. So we started working on that one. We made a business plan. We said uh, we launched it in 30 locations across India. We created campus ambassadors, people like this thing, university. We said campus ambassador. However, how many number of people you get them to reach from the campus? But each we give T-shirts, we give posters, we give all the campus ambassadors. Some also have this. Some people like Upper Hand and all have campus ambassadors. That's how they sell easy free marketing. So how many people register from your campus? 5%, 10% we will give it. Why? 30 campuses we launched. 3 months of peak of uh, campus placements. Okay, of course, we this preludes this. We developed the application because it's all online, so we needed to really get to bring in the best of the same technologies together. Took about a year and a half together. 2018 we launched. Alright, that's paid off. In 3 months we got 3 registrations. People we first priced it at 1,000 rupees sale because people said 1,500 rupees. We launched at 999. No takers. We said 799. In 3 months. All these 30 years industry guys, everything paid. Can anybody guess why? Student mentality relates to the student mentality. True. People, okay, and the reality was when they had 2,000, 3,000 they didn't care at that point of time. They went to a pizza, they went to taking off with the friend, they do a coffee or something like that. It didn't matter. People were not ready to even the last minute, but ready to spend for this. What would be the reason they were not ready to spend for this? Second one. Take a guess. Yes, sir. Initial cost more? No, not the reason. I think I was talking about latent need and express need. Express need was there is a big need for this, but latently there was something different that they had in their minds. Any other people want to guess why the students never came in?
Targeting of the
Targeting?
inferiority complex.
Inferiority complex, they pretty much know that they are not good, and I don't think that was the reason.
They never know that fear.
They never know that we are, but it's good to know before you go for the interview, right? So it's still a nice thing to know and do better in the interview. You want to do better in the interview. This is basically again, last year again, of course, talking to people across, but probably this is a common thing. I don't need to differentiate between. Okay, I'll go to the real reason. The reason was we found out when we did a further research, which we didn't do properly, we went into the real reason behind it. We found that the students felt getting a job is not my headache. It's that of the college. It's that of the placement officer. It's that of the dean or the principal or the vice chancellor, whoever it was. If they don't get me a job and if they don't go and advertise 720 placements in whatever it is, they'll not get the divisions for the next year. It's like 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 6, like Narayana. Same stuff here. They said it's not my headache, it's for them to perform, not me. Why should I spend it? It is a college, not my problem. The college should get me a job. Because when I joined, they said so many placements I joined. The parents also feel the same thing. So then we shocked. Then we call in business, in startups, we call this term called pivot. And we changed the direction. We said B2C is the wrong strategy. And what we realized, B2C, and by mistake we realized we got a new vertical. By mistake, not even we realizing that there is a wrong. We just put up the website, we didn't mention students. Our first customer was like VP of Barclays Bank, saying, "Sir, I have an interview with for a CIO position." He was heading IT, and I want to know the latest and greatest in fintech. So I need some CIO to from a banking industry to interview. We got a person, he paid $10,000 and he got the interview. Was very happy. Then we said, okay, what we try to do for students? Work with B2C, but job changers. But the first time job seekers, B2C doesn't work, it's B2B. Change the strategy. We went to Geetham, today Geetham, all the three campuses eventually here, we do then with SR, maybe LPUs, we are right at the few parts. So good. We do pretty good on the B2B side of things. Then, okay. So, we did, of course, the formal and detailed plan, but what I'm trying to tell you is this whole process, whenever you say entrepreneurship or construction, looks like step, and step. It's completed. Fail, come back again, go back to the drawing board. Was first year, another year, start again, start from scratch, and then say, no, this is not going to work, and you'll have to do this. So of course, once we had it going, it was not easy again finding support resources and all that stuff, right? Because we are trying to do a lot of one-to-one matching of every individual requirements for students. Yeah, suddenly it comes to us. Then we started pivoting and started adding new lines. We started adding. For there's a company called Electronics in Vijayawada. Big one. It's considerably big now. They're about 800 crores now. So he said he knew us through IFF, student network. He said, okay, go ahead. I go to 70 odd campuses, 69 across India. I talk to about 4,500 students and I speak about 180 to 200 folks. And I had to take people off from my own delivery cycles and send them across the country. And this is a 4 months process. We said we will take it out. Nobody needs to travel. We'll get it done. This is 2000 pre-COVID, not COVID, pre-COVID, 2018. Said fine, and completely taken over there today also. They're all their entry level recruitment, selection, and everything happens through a platform, and we charge per student for interview, and then final section. Over a period of 3 years, they were so confident about the process that whatever the finalists that we do, they give all. And for that, it's because easy to say, but what they say in a day, suddenly we have to interview 200 people who are basically in firmware. And getting people from the industry who are good in firmware, 200 interviews. Each interview is half an hour. Maximum a person can do is 8 hours if he leaves his job and does it. It's 60 interviews. For 200 people, minimum we would need is about 80, 20 people. Quickly arranging for that because it has to be done on the same day and you cannot. It's on that day. Either also suddenly says, okay, TCS 700 people got selected. 2 days is time, you get all the 700 interviews. And these are guys that are on the panel of interviewers or curated interviewers are all from industry. They have their day jobs. They're not the people who are only doing interview. They're this thing in between whenever they have spots. Then we go, we have to do people of resources that sit and then convince them, give us an opportunity, we will pay you this, all that stuff. Or we say 6 guys, or people who are working in the night shift, we say all day effect. People who finish in the day, we say work till 2 o'clock, we say night. And then we start engaging people from the US because in the day they are free. Night is when they are their daytime. So all these gimmicks we have to do, all that balancing acts, and then somehow get it done. So then came investments. So we put in all our own money. We already probably invested about a crore of rupees plus I don't know, I never asked about it. All the six of us today invest same amount of money into this business and we started it off. So we it's still bootstrap. We're now probably going for a funding round, but we have a problem because there are two people who works full time on that, which is Srinivas and Ujwal. All the other four of us are part timers. We all hold equal percentage, 16.67. But overall, what happens is when Java Capital came and said they were ready to for $3 million valuation, which is about 24-25 crores, and take a 10% post dilution of about 2.5 crores, that they were 2.4 crores already ready with the check. But they said only thing that they said is your full-time founders are having only 33%. The rest four Chuma fellows like you guys are having 67%. We can't finance you. Problem. So we have to kind of get. So I'm just saying. So the human resources, we ran it out of a small place in near what is that? Aqua complex on the beach road. Next to that, there is a now there's an HDFC bank that's coming up the second building on the left next to the thing on the floor. Then we also now run it up. So we put everything together, the small office, people, young guys, young kids, MBA and all that stuff, support stuff, who are again ready because most of the work again happens on Saturdays and Sundays. Like a video capable support channel that we have to have. And there's a technical support is there. Sometimes the video recording doesn't happen, sometimes something goes wrong, internet on the other side is bad. So you'll have 5 minutes before the interview to call both the parties, get them onto the thing and all that stuff. And while the technology was being developed by a company called Gensar, which continuously was upgrading. So of course, and during this third stage of resourcing, you look for investors. At that time, it was bootstrap, and we were trying to find all the resources, and we went into different things. We are now then we started going beyond B2B of education institutions, B2C of job seekers. We are now back-end partners, and we started white labeling. If you go to Upgrad, if you go to even Monster, trying now to be Monster, I can get a deal. And you say, let's say you're doing digital marketing, or let's say data science course on Skillvilla, on Upgrad, or Eureka, two of them. And then you say, I want to test my whatever course that I've done, I'm industry for that specific skill set. You click there, you pay for them, you pay maybe 3,000, you get about 1,500 or something like that. And it comes to us, everybody. Nobody knows it's everybody. It looks like it's all monster. So digital e-learning platforms, we are back partners. We are again partners for recruitment, what do you call it? Manpower. I would say, what do you call it? Monster and not be whatever. So for these things is where we expanded. So we do all this. So started finding revenue sources from different sources. We started with 8 lakhs, then 33, then 53, 65. This year we would probably close at 1.434 crores, 3 to 4 crores. So we hired employees. Then actualization means okay, we went into that. So once you find all your investors and you find all your team and all that stuff ready, then you actually take it into reality, which is actually this is operation. In actualization, what you do is you start, okay, I jump the gun, but this is where you try to open the business, you get customers and try to run the day-to-day operations. Now comes to, okay, now we built it. Now we started defining for investors and then like once I've done all the four stages to prepare for it, I understood my stage. This stage is where you have to be very careful. This is like a stock market. It's exactly like a stock market. And I said this is not like you'll not never be married to your business or married to your idea. There's no permanence at all in this thing. Because if you continue to be this thing married to a specific business, especially sometimes stock market and all this stuff, if you do not know the right time to exit, maybe even an early exit with a little bit of profit is good because you don't know what's going to happen.
But Ravi, If you don't marry the idea, you will not get that kind of passion and commitment, that is one of the
See, the passion and commitment is to succeed.
execution.
This is the execution, not that specific idea is to live with. If we do everybody for another 10, 50, 20 years, AI I'm sure will take over. We will not survive. We'll have to move on to something else. So at the right time, see, based on our capability, we grow it. So we're trying to do it out of it. We did about 1.5 crore. Now we're trying to get into the US markets. Maybe if we go, somebody throws money at us saying that 30, 40 crores and say, we'll take 100% acquisition, we'll say, okay. So next thing, I'll sell it off. We probably will be convinced, right? Convince the others and say, sell it off now. Per head from 5, 6 crores. There it for 20, 30 lakhs. That's enough for years. Let's go. Let's take a new idea. All together we take membership in the courses and let's say that. No, I might take that. We might take that call. So it is. You should know when to exit because you should also know up to what level you can do it. When people are coming, then you start getting your other part, investors, Series A, Series B, Series C, and then as you start getting more and more investors, your stakeholding will start coming down. So that's why initial stage don't dilute a lot of this thing because if it's a grant take it, if it's equity based this thing like or SCPI and all that, I was telling people don't take it 25 lakhs, 10, 15% by dues. I got anyone to negotiate it only for 6%. They said 25%. I said no, don't give 25%. Later, after two more dilutions, you are working for somebody. And like you become like an ESOP, right? Just 8%, 10% because the rest is overwhelmed by a lot of people. But 10% might mean a lot of money, but still you are not really holding any stake because somebody can kick you out because you're not 40, 51% holder. You're not 50 plus percent. So you do not have rights. So just be careful about that. So now when you're trying to decide like the future on further growth, see, harvesting doesn't mean sometimes sell it off. So also, should you want to grow it further? Do you want to get other investors? Do you want to JV? What is it? You take the decisions once you get to a specific level. Maybe, like for example, one of the IT companies we raised to a level. Now we are doing all JVs, doing with Sunday Aqua to develop the ERP for Mala industry. That's a 50-50. So we do JVs for further, not ourselves, all not organic. So we do inorganic sort of thing. So we're getting investors for different things, for different stuff. And we volume motors on auto dealership ERP. That's again a JV. So with the clients like brandings, we're doing a JV for the MRP for textile. So when we get to a certain stage, then we are doing because they will themselves make it successful. So you have to take those sort of calls. You will start that expansion. Which locations, what products, what do you need? Do you need to go further? Because once you reach the now, if you are reaching 1.5 crore, in another 2, 3 years we reach 5, 10 crores. After that, maybe it's difficult for us to grow further. Then we would say, okay, what new products? Like for example, Genie.ai. We have a product which is helps process loans with a lot of analytics, AI, and NLP based. We have some business we do about half a crore. Our expenses are about 4 to 5 lakhs. 45 lakhs is our margin. We know we can grow it to certain. Now we are getting into invoice fraud detection. We are getting into background check detection because background check today detects 4 years experience and some like I'm giving an offer for lakhs. It usually, of course, is PF salary past 6 months bank statement and all that. Based on that, I can see how much of loans, how much of EMIs and all that is for like good enough for him or is still in without any disposable. And then I can say 12 lakhs, he will not stay here. He's always looking out on for another job which is slightly higher paid because 12 lakhs he is not still having a comfortable. So I can take those decisions. Or if he has some real financial related stuff which is gone into too many updates and other stuff, he will surely leave because there is all these collection agents running off his house, so he'll not be concentrating on the job. So consider possibly closing it needed. You should know when to exit.
Yes, actually.
If you should know when to exit if you cannot take it to the next level or wherever you're stuck. It's good to exit early. There are a lot of ways to take it to this level. You start not making money. This way, I say, oh, emotional attachment, kill it. they used to have this very old village shuttle fabricated sort of ad. We don't. We used to. We were college students at that time. We used to add something. Village shuttle, lend it and target it. We used to tell students because but you should know when to shut it off. Otherwise, you will be investing further time and effort and money. It's not just money that you're losing. You're losing more than that. You're continuing to do something which is not working and trying to make it work, and eventually it will be a failure. So you lost time and money, resources along with money. Because the time that you could spend on something else. Now I am trying to relate it to one thing that is food. I mean, a very early stage, see, that was foolish and all the stuff, right? There I was foolish taking those decisions, multiple things as an entrepreneur now. At early stage, angel investor, they call F and F, but we call it triple F. Friends, families, and foods. Only we start very early and we invest very early into at an idea stage. That's why when an angel investor, we look into the team more than the idea. There are some people that have that some to make it work. So early stage investors are also called foods. So I'm one of them. So thank you. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, okay. This is all things that questions. How committed are you? Are you prepared to work hard? No Saturdays, Sundays. What is it that you want to achieve in life? Are you a 9 to 5 sort of self-employed guy? This is not right for you. What are your right skills that you have? Are you a technical guy or you a business guy or you are admin sort of coordination sort of guy? So that you have your right team set. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Do you know your strengths and weaknesses? Or do you think that are you still in a state of assumption? Are you really good at any of the core skill? Do you have a peaceful idea or can you find one? The idea is good enough to fill a market and sell. And because it's not even sometimes we call it Tam, Sam, and Song. Somebody spoke about it. Somebody spoke about it, right? Totally addressable market, it's serviceable, and then, yeah. So you should see that and say, I have a 7.5 billion market. Good. But what is it that you can finally serviceable? What is serviceable, addressable, and serviceable operation?
Most of the people who prepares the reports, they say 10% of that I can capture.
That's not so easy. All the people are there are not fools to just give 10% like that. So that's what this valuation gains sometimes are like that. Thinking that if you can 60% of that market or the market, they gain some bigger risk and so on. So important thing, as I said, when I invest, it's the team and the person that I invest in people. Have you funding need? And it's not easy for a startup to get funding at a very early stage. Can you survive initially on what may be a very low income or no income for a few years? Comes to the percentage of profitability. So I would say you do it with a lot of intensity, commitment, passion, and hard work for a pretty long time. Usually 7 years to succeed. Average. Usually the third idea is very successful. This is that for you. So be ready for it. So this is what she said. We'll find but all. Thanks. Thank you for your time. Open something that was interesting. Open for Q&A.
Yeah. Please come forward. Ravi has put before us his life's journey,